Old School Tackle Company is a small business based in Salisbury, Maryland that specializes in making soft plastics, jigs, other products into the light tackle industry for fishing. If it swims in the Chesapeake Bay, we've got lures for it. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a small business owner. I am a jack of all trades and master of none. I got into this business for my love of fishing, and the logo is a profile picture of my grandfather. My grandfather loved fishing. I was in the 2nd grade. I learned how to catch bait, how to catch fish. The entrepreneurial spirit probably came from my grandfather. If you bought minnows in Ocean City in the 80s and 90s from a tackle shop, my grandfather probably caught them all and sold them there. I try to really build a better mousetrap. I try to be a problem solver. I try to connect to people and legitimately help them. Oftentimes fish don't always strike because they're hungry. Sometimes it's exploration. They're trying to figure out what this is in the ecosystem and whether it's food or not. Science is typically in clear water conditions, you want to use a clear water bait. Dirty water conditions, you want to use a darker bait. It's just how the fish are seeing the silhouette in the different light conditions. A bait that works out early in the morning and in the evenings may not be productive when the sun's out. So there's a lot of trial and error, which is why we carry so many different colors. Friends oftentimes will call me the mad scientist about some of the things that I do. There's an artisan piece to it, but there is also a deeper scientific aspect to the business. This right here is our shooting star. So this is our injection machine. We go ahead and we'll draw plastic out of this cylinder here. We will inject them into the molds that we have going over here to make our finished products. This maintains a constant temperature for us. It's got some motors in there for the stirrers to keep the glitter and other things suspended. This is a typical mold for us. Some of them are individual cavities like this, where we can get intricate with the different layerings and color complexities. This particular vise is set up to hold up to 17 molds. Typically it takes maybe 2 minutes to shoot all the molds, and it only takes maybe 1.5 minutes for the product to cool enough for us to pull out of the molds and keep doing that process over and over again until we go through 5 gallons of plastic that is in between these 2 cylinders behind me. So there are many challenges. The biggest is sourcing materials. For instance, you take a product like our redfish spinner. Right off the top, you've got header stock. That comes from one vendor. You've got a label on the bag. That comes from another vendor, the bag itself. But then the product itself, we've got the wire that we bend. That comes in from one vendor. There's a split ring. That comes from a different vendor. Oftentimes, if not, I'm going to 2nd or 3rd suppliers. Like, you have to make sure that if you bring a product like this, that you have more than one source for product. Ideally, you're going to source your primary one because that's where you're controlling your costs. But if you've got to get product out on the market, you got to go to 2nd, 3rd vendors. You're going to have to take a hit on the bottom line just to maintain having product on hand, because you can't keep adjusting your prices up and down because you're hitting 2nd and 3rd suppliers. There's a lot of different vendors and a lot of different components that go into just making one small product like this. Trying to keep all of that in stock, maintaining a flow of all those materials can be challenging at times. So there's a saying on the Eastern Shore that Chesapeake is the land of pleasant living. I like the fact that I can be 20 minutes on a boat going offshore fishing for marlin. Can do 20-minute drive. I can be on the Chesapeake Bay and shore fishing for all different species. There's not very many places like it on Earth in which you have so much going for you in the outdoors. Opportunities to pursue your dreams and stay on the Eastern Shore. Businesses are changing, industries are moving in all the time. It's definitely a unique area in which the core consumer on the Eastern Shore will patronize and support local small businesses. The minute that I knew that I was onto something was probably within 6 or 7 months of running a business. That first customer goes, "Man, look at this. This is the biggest speckled trout I've ever caught in my life." And it was a product that I had put into a captain's bag at a tournament. And that was kind of that moment for me where it was like, okay, I'm on to something here. I think that's the amazing part, is just the reach for something that's made on the Eastern Shore, but that you can actually make a product that can be marketed and go nationwide from the Eastern Shore. To me, I guess that would be amazing.